Kan Sie hören?
Your German is better than you're about to admit, right?
No.
Come on.
I won't put myself out there.
Okay, legen wir los? All right, Christopher, so good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm really good, actually. I feel really pumped. It's great to be here in Germany. It's my first time, really traveling the country in a tour bus and meeting all these different radio stations and really spreading my music. So, yeah, I'm super excited.
Perfect. So the new year has been off to a good start for you.
Very good start. I started it in Austria, actually, on a snowboarding vacation. And yeah, it was amazing. Amazing good start. And my New Year's resolution was to go to different countries and perform and meet new people and release a new album. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's a nice resolution. Do you actually stick to it?
No. I had a New Year's resolution last year that I stuck to, and that was that I wanted to quit smoking. And I haven't smoked in 12 months now. So that's cool.
That's a good one, I think. Perfect. Could you describe yourself in a few words for us?
Songwriter, music lover, happy, optimistic person. I feel really Danish. It's not really something that's really. I mean, not a lot of people would say that, but I don't know. I just feel I've been traveling so much the past 2 years, and whenever I arrive in the Copenhagen airport, I'm just like, I'm home. So that's one of the things that I really feel like I am.
Can you describe that a little? What makes you feel Danish? Is there
I think
something?
it's a combination of a few different things. One is that I'm really, happy, and they say that Denmark is one of the happiest nations in the world. It's one of the safest nations in the world as well. That's probably why, my shoulders are a little bit more loose when I get there, and that's where my family lives. And I think we have this thing in Denmark called janteloven, which is just because you are somebody or you can do something, don't think you are something special, And it sounds weird, but it had helped me it helps me keep being grounded, and it keeps my feet on the ground. So yeah, that's why I feel like a Dane.
So everyone's on the same level in Denmark.
Sort of.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Perfect. But you're here because you got awesome music on the radio playing right now.
Yeah.
We got to talk about your new single, Irony. You got me hooked on it when I first heard the piano part. I was like, okay, I'm going to love this song.
No, I'm glad to hear.
I think it's a very personal and mature song. Correct me if I'm wrong. Can you let us in on what it's about?
I think you're completely right, especially compared to some of my previous work. It's very mature and organic in the sound, and lyrically, it is probably one of the most honest and personal songs I've ever written. And I've written a lot of songs about love, and this one is not about love. This is about, how I see the world and how the world is seeing me, and some of the struggles that I've been through these past couple of years. Writing this album, as all artists know, it's like a roller coaster ride. Right, when you write an album, you go up and down, and sometimes you're like, oh, I'm a genius, and the next day you're like, oh, I'm such a failure, So, I've been really self-reflecting a lot, and I took a break from social media. That has been a big part of my career ever since I started, and that really helped me get some perspective to look at it from the outside and to realize how crazy it all is and how addicted I was. I was spending maybe 5-6 hours a day looking at my phone, and a lot of it was spent on reading comments and hunting likes on social media. And I know that there's so many young people out there doing this, and I think the most ironic thing about it is you look at all these people's perfect lives on Instagram, and you don't realize that there's a filter on everything and everything is fake. So I think that's an important thing to tell the younger generation. Don't compare yourself to what you see on Instagram and social media, because it has nothing to do with real life. And while everybody is seemingly having it all figured out and, everybody has a perfect life, I think in real life, very few people got it figured out. And I think, if you feel like you're looking at Instagram and you're putting your phone down and you feel more depressed after scrolling, you're definitely not alone.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, it's just the curated part of your life, right? It's just what you want to share, but it's
So
not
true.
the true story.
No.
Yeah. So,
And I think, there's nothing wrong with social media. I do it myself all the time and I get this question all the time, but you are a part like of creating this perfect life or whatever. But I feel like it should be the peaks of people's life. I don't want to see you do your laundry. I want to see you when you whatever, graduated or whatever. I want to see the highlights, but it can be really tricky to navigate in that if you only see the best moments of people's lives, because then you're like, oh, why does my life suck compared to that, But it's just really important to tell people this is highlights and it's peaks from people's lives. So it's not one-to-one how the reality is or how their life is. It's it's just the way we use it that is a little bit misperceived, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, I hear. So is a song written is it only your point of view? Is it totally Christopher, or is it observations as well?
I think it's a little bit of both, but it's really hard to write these songs with social aspects and without being preachy. I don't want to preach, and I'm doing all this myself, so that's why I wrote it from a perspective why it's like I'm addicted to my phone. I'm awake at night looking at all the comments. I'm putting a filter on everything because everybody else is doing it. And, I tried to put a couple of layers to the lyrics. So I have this one line about a tattoo where I got this tattoo and it took me a couple of months to show my mom because my mom is not crazy about tattoos. But really, you don't, to me, I feel like you don't have to have a tattoo to be able to, what is it called? Connect with that line, because it's not about the tattoo. It's about wanting to be the best son or daughter to your parents, and we all want to be that, And you don't have to, be smoking to relate to the line about I quit smoking because I read somewhere that if I quit before I'm 26, I'll be fine. So I'm lying to myself as I light another cigarette. That is a true story from my life. And I heard that somewhere and I was like, oh, that's fine. So I still got a couple of months left smoking, the small lies that we all tell ourselves every day. And I hope it's really personal and it's really specific, but I hope that people can take some of it and relate it to their own lives.
I'm pretty sure they can. I also read in your bio that you got lots of responses on social media on the song.
Yeah.
Was there a story that especially struck you that maybe got you so inspired you wrote yet another song about it?
I heard this one girl, she was 24 years old and she was, not lying to herself, but she was complaining a little bit about not being the youngest. You're not, there's this weird period from being 24 to, I guess, 30, maybe 32, where, you get older, but you don't feel older. You always feel a couple of years younger than you are. And she was like, it feels like everybody got everything figured out and I'm 24 and I should have my life under control. And I just wanted to say to her, you don't have to have it all figured out. You're 24, you're still super young. But it's because there's all these, 17, 18-year-old entrepreneurs out there just being rich and making it rain or whatever. It's just so easy to look at people just having a lot of money and it's so many people are doing better than you. But back in the days, people did not have the opportunity to compare their lives on the same scale. So, I'm turning 27 in a couple of weeks and it's weird for me too. And I have this one song on the coming album called I Don't Want to Grow Up, where it's about, feeling like you're not that. I wish I could just stop time and not grow older because I feel like this is perfect, And when I started making music, I was 18 and I was the young, talented dude. And now I'm just I'm the I don't know what I am. I'm not talented anymore. I'm too old to be talented. It sounds weird, but now I'm just good. You know, there's some transition where you're not a talent anymore when you're 27. Then you're just good at what you do. You had too many years to practice to still be talented. You're talented when you're young and 17 and right out the bush. It's like, woo, that kid is talented.
Yeah, the standards keep getting
Yeah,
crazier,
exactly.
right? Yeah. Let's stay with the social media topic for a bit.
Hmm.
Do you think that artists could still work without it?
Yeah, totally. They worked fine before it. So why wouldn't it work? I just think that, there's upsides and downsides to everything. I feel like there are more upsides to social media than there are downsides. And it's been such a big part of my career. And I don't think that I would be as big without Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and social media in general, because it has helped me boost my career into different new levels. And I've had several number one songs, hit songs in China and in Asia, because of the globalized world where you can just click on Spotify or whatever on YouTube, and then it's like everyone can see it. So it has really helped me in so many aspects of my career. So I wouldn't be without it, but it would definitely be possible to still make it.
All right. And let's turn it around. What's your favorite offline activity?
I'm like a sports freak, so I love playing tennis, soccer, badminton, table tennis. There's this new thing called paddle tennis that I'm really into, and it's like a combination of squash and tennis. But yeah, I'm just a geek. When I work out almost every day, and everything that I can just physically challenge myself with my body and my physique, and do with my comrades. That is what I spend most of my time doing.
Because you can spend time with your friends at the same time, right?
Exactly.
That's the bonus.
I mean,
Perfect.
I love playing the guitar. I love writing songs as well. I play sports. I hang out with my friends and my girlfriend, and I play the guitar.
Sounds like a pretty nice life.
It is. It is.
You're also singing, like, if we jump back to irony, I don't want to be that guy, but what kind of guy do you want to be?
I want to be the honest, funny, joking, reflected guy that I feel like I am. The reason why I have this line, it's followed by, but my label's telling me I gotta lie. And it's because when I was signed, when I was 17, they quickly put me in this Justin Bieber bubblegum mainstream pop commercial. They put me in that box, and I just went with it, and it was fun. And I did not really have much to say, and I was so young, so I just okay, this guy has been in the business for 20 years. He must know something about how this is done, and he must know what he's doing. So I've followed the people around me, and I did what they told me to do, sort of. Obviously I had a say, and I was still writing songs, but it was my first songs, and it was just it's hard to navigate in this industry being that young. And I just, looking back at it now and knowing how much I can just do whatever I want now, I wish I had the courage almost. It's not courage, just the wisdom and the experience that I have now back then. But yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it's hard if you're young and you're depending on people and you're trusting them because they have like the professional opinion, and you just go with it.
That's the thing about experience. You have to get it the hard way.
That's part of the process, right?
It is.
Yeah. Okay, and another line that I want to tackle is that you're singing about people that have the script to life. So if we imagine that you change careers and you're a director now, and you're making a movie about your life and your career, what would it be like?
Oh, that's a good question. It would be about this guy, this young dude that was picking up the guitar to get girls and to get laid, and who was dreaming about being a professional soccer player. And then all of a sudden he gets this golden opportunity. And before he gets a chance to look around, he's in the middle of, what seems like a dream where people are screaming his name, and, he's on stage and he's told what to do, and he's just doing it because he's just having a good time. And then all of a sudden he's 27 and he's looking back at everything he has accomplished, and he's like, whoa, now I feel like my time as an artist and as a real singer-songwriter begins, because it's like that I needed to look back at it to sort of get it in perspective and get it on distance to start over. And that's what I've spent the last 2 years doing, and that's why Irony is coming out now as one of the first singles of this coming project, because I feel like now I'm ready to show people, what I can do when I'm not told what to be or what to sound like.
Perfect. So you already mentioned you're working on a new record, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about it already, or is it still in the making?
No, it's I can tell you about it. It's being mixed right now, and I'm constantly writing on it. But it's such a hard part about writing songs. It's know when it's done, and just to leave it and be like, okay, this is it. No more work on it, because you can just continue. And I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to the songs. But it's called My Heart, and I think it's gonna be the next single. And it's about touring. It's really honest, and it's about being afraid that your friends or your loved ones will not wait for you when you get back, and you've been taking it for granted because you want to just live your life and follow your dream, but then you sort of lose yourself a little bit in the process, and all those feelings, being afraid of that. And I've really felt like that many times, being away for months and then coming home, and then you're like, hello stranger, to your own girlfriend or whatever, because you're so out of sync. And then the scariest thought would be one day to come home, and then she's like, I told you I couldn't wait any longer or whatever. So it's sort of like my worst fear, but at the same time I felt like I had to write this song to get it out of my system and to let the people around me know that I'm not just out there not thinking about you. You're always with me, and I hope I'm with you too.
So even though you're apart locally or physically, you're still connected somehow.
It's the never-ending struggles of a long distance relationship. It's just hardcore. It is. And it's hardcore to have a normal life mixed with like a touring life, a touring musician especially. Also because, being an artist, it's a very selfish and self-centered life. And I'll be the first to admit that I'm a really self-centered person. Like, I feel like my music is the most important thing in my world. And, I can't live without it. And I'm not pretending that I can, And I love all the people around me. But I decided many years ago that whatever it will take for me to get my music out to as many people as possible, I will do that, and I will work as hard as anyone can. But there's some sacrifices involved in that. But right now I feel like it has paid off times 10, and that is just the most motivating thing ever. That just makes me want to work even harder and let everybody know that, as cliche as it is, if you put in the work, and if you really believe it, you can do it. I mean, no doubt.
That's a nice thing to say. And I'm glad that you experienced that, and that you're saying, just believe in yourself and you can make it happen.
Yeah.
Perfect. So is that My Heart, the song, is that going to be part of a new album?
It's probably going to be an EP.
An EP, okay.
I've made 3 albums before, but realized that the market has changed so much, so there's really no point in releasing an album. You want to release maximum 6 to 8 songs, because people cannot concentrate for longer unless you're Adele or Ed Sheeran or Post Malone or Drake. But
or some other big name.
Or some other big name. Then you can do it, Bruno Mars. But for me, and like being Mr. Nobody still in all these countries, I think it's about releasing as much music as possible and as many singles as possible. So I have a plan that is to release like 3 singles and an EP, and then release 3 more singles and an EP, 3 more singles and an EP, so 3 EPs in total, and then collect it to like an album if people want it. I don't know, but it's all about the songs, I guess.
That is true. Are Bad and Monogamy going to be part of that EP as well?
The first EP, it is.
Yeah. Because those 2 were released in the past year as well, right? Yeah. And I was listening to them. I was like, and I watched the video and I was like, he's got the moves going on. Is that's those are more the songs that you dance to, right? Is that
Yeah,
like the other side of your music?
totally. I mean, my first mainstream breakthrough in Denmark was with the song called "Told You So," which is a really up-tempo, funky Bruno Mars sort of track, and I became that guy. You know, I became that up-tempo, danceable guy. And then I had a big song with one of my friends called Brandon called "Twerk It Like Miley," and we did another one called "Copenhagen Girls," and both of those songs were really club-ish. And so I just wanted to make party music, and I saw how people reacted live. So I was like, whew, that feels good to make people dance and sing along and clap. And then later I had a song that was my first number one, or one of my first number ones in China, with a song called Heartbeat, which is really like a ballad. And then I refound the joy of writing ballads, and then I wrote songs like Irony. But I always knew that after taking a break and after taking 2 years off, I wanted to show people a little bit of both. So yeah, that I'm still in the process of finding out, what the I don't know what the third EP is gonna sound like. You're constantly on developing and constantly trying to find your way. But I must say, looking at Irony and what it has done so far, I feel like, yeah, that's how I started, like with the good song and the good melody and the good lyrics, and just you can just pick up the guitar and play it, and people can tell that it's a good song. I'm sort of really coming back to that.
Do you feel like Irony might be like a new standard that you set for yourself?
It probably is, yeah. But there is pros and cons to that, because Irony is by far one of the best songs that I've ever written. And I remember sitting in the studio and being like, damn, that's going to be hard to top, because it was just so easy and honest, and it just flew out of me, sort of, all the lyrics. It's like one long conversation with myself, and I have written so many songs, and I know how rarely that happens. So, looking at the bright side, I now have something to live up to, and I've always been good under pressure, and now I know what to channel into. And it's all about being honest and being true to yourself and who you are, because if you don't feel it, like, why should anyone else feel it?
Yeah, being authentic in
Exactly.
the fake life, right? That we talked about before. All right. 2018 brought us so many successful Danish artists. Like, I'm thinking of Hugo Helmy, I'm thinking of Lucas Graham, and then you sneaked in with Irony at the end. Like, what's going on in Denmark?
I think there is a really good rising pop scene in Denmark. And, both Lucas and Hugo Helmy, like, they're not far from what I'm doing. It's pop music. It's, it's good songs, it's good lyrics, and, they're both really sweet and talented guys. And I can really see why it's working, because it's authentic and it's real. And yeah, I think the people just connect with that. And in these times where everything is cuss words and rap music and urban music, I see why there is still a little small space and opening for the good pop songs. I hope it can continue to be that way.
Fingers crossed. Are there any other Danish artists that we should check out?
I mean, you probably already know her, but we have this huge star called Mo, and she just released an album that is fantastic. I love her. We have so many good local acts that are singing in Danish, but yeah, we just have a really interesting Danish music scene right now. I'm sure there's going to be more to come.
Okay, well, we'll stay focused and see what's going to happen. We already talked about, or you mentioned that Denmark is often said to be have so many happy people, and you have the concept of hygge, right? Hygge, did I pronounce that right? Yeah. Can you, as an expert, explain to us what it is?
What hygge is?
Yeah.
Hygge is basically not worrying about anything and just being in the moment and having a good time, enjoying yourself. It can be everything from watching television with a small blanket and having a cup of tea till, sitting 5 friends just telling stories to each other and just having a good time. it's the opposite of looking in your phone and just being in the same room. It's really being there and feeling each other and having real life conversations. And it starts with the smallest things.
Being present.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you get the chance to create those moments for you while you're on tour?
That's a really good question. I don't think that. I mean, yeah, I try to jeg prøver at hygge mig, as you would say in Danish. I'm trying to have a good time. But it is just you get to the point where traveling is just traveling, and it's I spent so many hours in a tour bus looking at my phone, and watching something on Netflix or reading a book or listening to an audio book or speaking about what's the plan for the rest of the day or tomorrow. So it's when I'm on the road, I'm working, and when I'm home, I'm enjoying myself. But when I'm on stage, that's some next level hygge, then I'm seriously having a good time. That's why I love this job so much. That's because when I'm on that stage or whenever I'm performing, I forget everything and I'm just enjoying myself.
So you chose
I feel like we're having a pretty hyggelig time right now.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
No, I'm serious. I kind of like these interviews about, not only music, but about, just real life, the real life things.
That's true. I can feel it too.
You feel the hygge?
I feel the hygge.
I feel the hygge.
I'm not Danish, but
Do you feel the hygge?
I don't know if this is old news for you. Christophorus is the patron saint of travelers.
I know that, yeah.
Of course.
Saint Christopher.
Yes. And since you talked about your New Year's resolutions to see more countries, do you like to travel? Probably, right?
Oh, yeah. I love it. When I tell people about what the biggest privileges are about being a musician, it's number one, traveling and getting to see the world and seeing all these different cultures. I'm a big food lover, so to get to taste all the different world cuisines, but also, being what, a guy like John Mayer was to me, or Michael Jackson or Justin Timberlake, being a part of someone's life and the soundtrack to someone's life. That is like the biggest, that's what makes my job fulfilling and gives it meaning. And that's the best thing I can get to know from a fan. That's when, you really changed my life with this song, or you helped me through a rough path or a rough period in my life with this song. And that is the biggest compliment you can get. That those are like my top 3 things about this job.
I can imagine. Do you have a favorite spot to go to when you're, I don't know, maybe traveling in your own country?
In my own country, in Copenhagen, it's where I live. It's called Christianshavn. And it's just in the heart of Copenhagen, but it's still a little withdrawn from the city. But we got some lakes and some trees and forest-ish. And it's close to the beach. And we have the small canals running in between the houses and the apartments. And it's really cozy and charming.
Sounds very calm.
Yeah.
Nice. And let's pretend you're a tour guide in Denmark.
Yeah.
Where would you take us on a trip?
I would take you on a walk around Christiania. I will walk you into the heart of Copenhagen, 10 minutes from where I live, into Tivoli. We'll get a candy flush and a hot dog in Tivoli, try maybe the Demon. And then we will probably go down, the main street called Strøget. Just because, that's just a vibe, many people would say it's such a tourist spot, but I still get why people love it there. Not only because of the shops, but just because it's so multicultural. There's everyone there, and there is room for everyone, and you feel safe, and it's just a good vibe.
Sounds very cool. I gotta try it.
Yeah.
I want to go this year, actually.
You've never been to Copenhagen?
I've never been to Copenhagen, never been to Denmark, but
you should go when it's summertime.
Summertime.
We had the best summer I can ever remember. Like, this summer was so sunny and warm, and when we feel the warmth and the sun, everybody gets on the streets. So, as you would say here, Leben. So much Leben.
Yeah, it's the same in Germany. I think the first rays of sun and everyone's like Gotta head outside. I gotta
exactly. Where's my shorts, honey? The sun is shining.
All right, now we're only just like getting started with this new year. What are your hopes and dreams for 2019?
I hope that I can continue to travel and come back to Germany. Hopefully more, play some my first shows here. Maybe tour a little bit more in Europe. I know I'm going to tour both festival and indoor in Denmark and in Asia. So I can't wait to release these new songs. To be honest, I've been working on it for so long and it's my babies, you know. So getting to share that with people and new music for the first time in a long time, that's going to be really special. I feel like I've been waiting for 2019 to come around. So now that it's finally here, it's like, yeah, it's go time.
It's gonna be a big year.
It's going to be really dope.
Do you have a release date for the EP already?
I hope it's going to be in the end of March.
Okay, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Like you told me before, you know some German, and I'm going to repeat what you just told me before. Christopher, es reicht.
Es reicht.
We're through. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. It was lovely. Thank you.